The EU Taxonomy is a green classification system that translates the European Union's climate and environmental objectives into criteria for specific economic activities for investment purposes. It recognises as environmentally sustainable economic activities that make a substantial contribution to at least one of the EU's climate and environmental objectives. Those objectives are climate change mitigation, climate change adaptation, sustainable use and protection of water and marine resources, transition to a circular economy, pollution prevention and control, and protection and restoration of biodiversity and ecosystems. The Taxonomy regulation also sets out 4 overarching conditions that an economic activity must meet in order to qualify as environmentally sustainable. Making a substantial contribution to at least one environmental objective, doing no significant harm to any of the other 5 environmental objectives, complying with minimum safeguards, and complying with the technical screening criteria set out in the Taxonomy Delegated Acts. The Taxonomy Delegated Acts will establish and maintain clear criteria for activities to define what it means to make a substantial contribution and what it means to do no significant harm. Delegated Acts will be living documents that will be added to over time and updated as necessary. EU Taxonomy is a transparency tool that will introduce mandatory disclosure obligations on some companies and investors, requiring them to disclose their share of taxonomy-aligned activities. This disclosure of the proportion of taxonomy-aligned activities will allow for the comparison of companies and investment portfolios. In addition, it can guide market participants in their investment decisions. The EU Taxonomy is one reliable tool to support companies in the transition to climate neutrality and a sustainable economy, creating a common language around green activities, protecting against greenwashing, and accelerating financing of those projects that are already sustainable to deliver on the objectives of the European Green Deal.
Basically, a lot of companies have to deal with EU taxonomy for several reasons. So, first of all, it's a regulatory requirement set by the European Union, so compliance in the end is non-negotiable, at least for companies already underlining CSRD reporting guidelines. But beyond that, companies more and more see it as a strategic move because aligning with taxonomy not only helps attract investors, who more and more prioritize sustainable practices, but also enhances market competitiveness by meeting growing consumer expectations for environmentally responsible businesses. I think companies can successfully engage with taxonomy by first getting an overview about aligning business practices and activities in general and understanding its substantial contribution criteria and environmental objectives. I guess the most necessary step is to identify all those activities within their operations that align with these criteria, as well as quantifying the percentage of turnover and capital expenditures associated with those sustainable practices. I think, especially in complex company structures, the major challenge is the screening and the identification of eligible and aligned business activities. So with over 120 taxonomy activities which may have different definitions and different data requirements, this is really super complex and takes a lot of time and capacity. So having a solution that provides guidance information and that enables relevant stakeholders to create simple workflows to share required data and to assess it, that help automatically calculate a taxonomy score and creates a report out of it, is a real game changer. Reusing the data of older reports and having a dashboard that demonstrates your taxonomy performance helps you also to improve in the future.